Now at 7 o'clock, we have another weather impact alert day here at KGW. Temperatures once again expected to get into the mid-90s. Rod Hill will have your full forecast and when we may see some relief this week coming up. Plus,
when you're fighting fire, even a structure fire, when it's this hot outside, you just don't have that ability for your temperature, your core temperature to come back down.
Firefighters battling flames in the heat as multiple fires break out over the weekend. Now they're reminding people to do everything possible to avoid sparking fires.
This week is back to school week for lots of kids all across the area. That includes kids in the Estacada School District. First day is today, but they're actually going to be let out 2 hours early today and tomorrow because of the heat. More on that coming up as we kick off the 7 o'clock hour of sunrise right now.
Good morning again. Thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock on your Monday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill both with us as well, but we all have to get out of the way and clear the way for Rod Hill. It is a weather impact alert day. Rod takes center stage.
Hey, good morning. One more day, actually 2 more days, today and tomorrow, with highs getting up into the 90s. But we are seeing the temperature trend slowly go down. Today it's low to mid 90s in the valley, and tomorrow it's more like 90 to 93 in the valley, and then we'll be in the 80s finally on Wednesday. We have partly cloudy skies to begin our day, 64 degrees in Salem, our live camera. There's a look at downtown Portland across Willamette. 67 is the early morning number, and in red, here's the impact alert for another hot one. We'll be 80 at noon, and then about 94 at 5 o'clock. If anything, maybe a little bit cooler. Humidity levels this afternoon will be running at about 30%, which doesn't sound maybe horrible, but by our standards, that's considered pretty hot. Still not enough humidity to add a heat index to the temperature, so there's good news there. That's your update.
Rod, thanks for that. All right, let's get you out the door and look at a couple spots out there. We'll start off down in West Lynn. That's I-205 southbound traffic coming off the Abernathy Bridge through the construction zone there. It's a little slow. It's always slow there this hour of a Monday morning commute, right? I-5 from Clark County bunching up at the Interstate Bridge. I-205 has been a little thick. In the last little while, the drive has improved. We had an earlier crash near Prescott, but it looks like that's finally out of the way. 13 minutes right now get you in from Main Street to the Fremont Bridge. That, of course, is the I-5 drive. And the rest of the freeway system, guys, uncharacteristically light. Maybe some folks are squeezing in those last couple days of vacation here for some of us. No major freeway trouble out there just yet.
All right, Chris, we're going to get to our news headlines here. Multnomah County is reporting Portland's first potential death from this ongoing heat wave. The county says a 56-year-old man was found dead on Saturday. They didn't say exactly where, only that he was found in or near the Pearl District. It could be weeks or even months before the man's death is officially determined to be heat-related.
Meantime, high weekend temperatures played a role in sparking fires over the weekend, and local firefighters say the heat made it more difficult to fight those fires.
KGW's Thomas Schultz is reporting on this story for us live in downtown Portland. Thomas, what else did firefighters say about these conditions?
Well, they say those hot temperatures take a big toll on them as well. Not only does it make it more challenging to fight fires, it also drains firefighters. And this weekend, there was fires sparking all across our area. From Portland, Forest Grove, and Hillsborough to across the Columbia and Vancouver, fire crews were busy. Portland firefighters released these photos at a house fire. Firefighters, frankly, just look exhausted battling the heat as they fight a fire.
When it's this hot outside, you just don't have that ability for your temperature, your core temperature to come back down. So hydration beforehand is really important. Trying to get rest when you can is important. But then during those responses, what we do a lot is bring extra resources to the scene so that we can rotate folks in and out.
Firefighters say the heat and dry conditions can also lead to brush fires. In Forest Grove, firefighters battled a brush fire that threatened a home, and up in Vancouver, nearly 5 acres of brush burned, coming dangerously close to homes and power lines. And with those high temperatures over the past weekend and today and tomorrow, it's really important to follow burn bans that are in effect as well, fire crews say. They also mentioned that if you live near brush, it's key to have an evacuation plan in place just in case. Drew, China.
Thomas, thank you. In the meantime, we have the latest on the flat fire burning in Jefferson and Deschutes counties. As of last update, the fire has burned nearly 22,000 acres. According to Deschutes County Sheriff's Office, it's destroyed 4 homes and 6 other buildings. Hundreds more remain within and near the fire perimeter, which is located about 2 miles northeast of Sister. So here's a look at the latest evacuation map. About 4,000 homes are in evacuation zones. About 1,000 of those are under level 3 go now notices, and a 24-hour evacuation point has been set up at Highland Baptist Church in Redmond. The Jefferson County Fairgrounds is available for people evacuating large animals.
The Cornelius Fire Department has a brand new state-of-the-art engine. The department says Engine 8 will replace a much older fire engine that had been in service for almost 25 years.
Going to be more efficient, fuel economy is going to be better, the emissions coming out of it are better. It has electrical systems that are able to keep up with all the computers and hardware and radios that we have on this equipment, and we're able to tailor the compartments so that they fit the equipment we now carry, which is different than it was 20 years ago.
Community members helped fire officials in Cornelius retire the old engine with a water transfer into the new rig, and then came the push-in ceremony where those firefighters got to flex their muscles, pushing Engine 8 into the station.
The nurses union announced a tentative agreement between its workers and Legacy Mount Hood. The deal includes added worker protections, competitive wages, and dedicated security staffing. The union said that it had a marathon mediation session with Legacy after more than 400 nurses voted to authorize a strike if they couldn't reach a deal. That agreement now goes to those nurses for a vote. In a statement, Legacy Health said in part, quote, "We are pleased with this development, which reflects our continued commitment to supporting our nurses and ensuring high quality care for our patients, the communities we serve."
Kids in Vancouver's Evergreen School District will have to wait until next Tuesday, September 2nd, to start their school year. It was supposed to start tomorrow, but the district made a decision to delay things after a group of workers, including paraeducators and bus drivers, voted to strike. District leaders say the extra week will give them more time to hammer out a deal with the workers' union. Here's what the union president told us.
I'm hoping we can reach an agreement. We really want to go back to work, but we can't do that without a fair contract.
The next mediation session between these two sides is set for today.
Meantime, the Estacada School District will be releasing students 2 hours early today and tomorrow due to the heat. All athletic practices will end by 4 o'clock. Buildings will be closed and staff will be released by 4 as well. And during the heat, it's important to take care of your pets. So here's some tips from the Oregon Humane Society. They recommend keeping your pet's water bowls full of cool, fresh water. If your pet is outdoors, provide a shade or use a misting hose for them to cool off. Keep playtime and walks to early in the morning or at dusk when it's cooler outside. And when it's too hot to leave your pets unattended. And if you're running errands, don't leave them at home. Don't put them in the car.
Rod Hill?
Yes.
Let's talk about today's temperatures. Am I right in saying clearly less hot than yesterday or even the day before?
No, I think you're right. Yesterday's PDX hit 95, and that's the forecast I have for today. But in my mind, I left 95 because I had it on the board. I really think odds favor us being a little bit cooler. I mean, we could hit 95, and a little cooler would be 93, 94, so we're kind of splitting hairs there. But tomorrow, high confidence will be the final day with the threat of reaching 90, certainly cooling into the 80s on Wednesday. So we're almost through this after going 102 last Friday and 100 on Saturday and 95 at the airport yesterday. We're tracking rain, and this is the rain that's throwing the cloudiness into the skies that we have here in Portland. And we've seen a heck of a lightning outbreak just east of Eugene this morning. The last 15 minutes has seen this really start to fall apart a little bit, just a couple of strikes, but you can see the rain. You saw the light show that they had. Pretty impressive. And it's a sign that we have a chance of some rain on this side of the Cascades. I think for Portland, I'm eyeing the chance of some rain here in the North Valley tomorrow night into Wednesday. No guarantees, just the possibility thereof. Here's a look at Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Lost the sun and lost the warm weather yesterday at the beach. I think today, again, it'll be primarily in the 60s with fog banks and maybe some areas getting some sun at times. There's downtown Portland, a partly cloudy sky from the Portland Spirit Landing, looking at the Tilcomb Crossing and the south waterfront there. It's a nice morning. We are in the 60s. I mean, it's still certainly warm outside. 68, in fact, out at PDX, 65 down in Wilsonville. That's 68's downtown Portland, pardon me. 64 in Salem, 70 degrees out in Silverton. And then this afternoon, the shower thunderstorm threat continues in central and eastern areas of our state. The beach will be the cool-off spot with temperatures in the 60s. And our 7-day forecast, impact alert for mid-90s today. Hopefully no hotter than 93 tomorrow, and then we're down into the 80s with that rain chance I mentioned tomorrow night, Wednesday, and again Wednesday night into Thursday. Labor Day weekend doesn't look overly hot, but the rain chances, and ultimately the forecast numbers are highly uncertain at this time. Here's Chris.
So stay tuned. All right, thanks for that, Rod. The traffic this morning actually seems a bit lighter than the normal Monday morning commute. I've got a little slowing on the west side. There's a quick check of Highway 26 coming down the hill from the zoo into the Vistridge Tunnel. Our traffic sensors show about 17 miles an hour there. Again, really not all that bad this morning, but 18 minutes your drive total to get you in from Hillsborough to I-405. Let's take you up to Rainier and Longview. This is on the Oregon side of the Lewis and Clark Bridge. WashDOT's actually doing some work on that bridge all week long, and so they're going to take turns squeezing one lane by on a shoulder while the other lane uses the other direction, I should say, uses one of the other lanes. And what that means is you're going to have to slow down on the bridge. And in fact, you can see some local slowing now. Again, this is the drive over the Lewis and Clark Bridge northbound out of Rainier. Of course, the southbound drive out of Longview will be equally slow. That'll be throughout the day, each day this week through Thursday. China?
Thank you, Chris. The summer is starting to come to a close, but not before millions of Americans hit the road and skies for Labor Day. How busy the travel weekend could get after the break. Plus, coming up in your morning rush, more of this video out of Nevada as people battle a dust storm at Burning Man.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
It is back to school week all around the area, and it's also the final week of collections for our KGW school supply drive. You have until Thursday of this week to help us out and make a donation. One of the easiest ways to help is by giving online. Let us do the shopping for you. Go to kgw.com/school, click that donate cash button, and when you give online, we're going to give you a little something too, a pass to the Columbia Sportswear Employee Store. A big thanks this morning to On Point Community Credit Union, Rick's Custom Fencing, and Safeway for stepping up and partnering with us this year for the KGW School Supply Drive.
We are a week out from Labor Day, which means busier skies and roads ahead.
NBC's Maggie Vespa has more on the effort that airports are making all around the country to move passengers through more efficiently.
With summer's last hurrah on the horizon, this morning a record number of Americans have a Labor Day vacation in their sights.
I'm anticipating traffic for sure.
United Airlines anticipating more than 3 million passengers this holiday weekend, nearly 250,000 more than last year. American Airlines bracing for nearly 4 million travelers across more than 36,000 flights, its largest ever Labor Day weekend operation. Major airports across the U.S. also expecting record Labor Day traffic.
We do anticipate that this Labor Day is busy like we've seen in years past. The most searched cities are New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, even Las Vegas tops the list.
It caps off a record season, with the FAA clocking more than 5 million flights since Memorial Day, making 2025 the busiest summer in over a decade. This as the TSA rolls out major changes, including faster, family-friendly security lanes at some major airports, and of course, phasing out the shoes-off policy at security checkpoints.
Yeah, on our way here, I took my shoes off and then realized I didn't have to.
It's definitely hastened up the process.
You're all set, Elizabeth. Have a good trip.
And in Atlanta, there's also a new experimental facial recognition program by the company Clear called eGates. That program plans to expand soon to help speed up passenger identification.
Super fast, super easy.
All this as the cost of your summer vacation falls, with domestic round-trip flights 6% cheaper compared to last year, averaging $720 per ticket, according to AAA. Hotel rates this morning 11% cheaper, and the cost of renting a car down too. For road trippers, there's more good news. Gas prices remain low, matching the summer average from 2021.
We are anticipating that the lower gas prices we've seen most of the summer are going to hold, which is great because a lot of people do tend to opt for a long weekend road trip over Labor Day weekend.
Again, that was our old friend Maggie Vespa reporting for us this morning. That facial recognition deal, you know, we've got those twins at home.
Yes.
Who turn 18, by the way, next week. A lot of our viewers still think that they're 8.
Yeah.
But they're 18. You know, they're twins, so they can open up each other's phones by looking at each other's phones with that facial recognition. Yeah.
They do that,
because of the twins' faces, yes, they open up.
Well, I wonder how well the airport thing will work.
Either one of them can travel as the other, I guess, Rod.
No privacy. Interesting.
It really is. And actually, the one brother calls one of them calls his brother spare parts. That's how he has him saved in his cell phone. He is my spare parts.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's get you going. Air quality numbers. Yesterday, you know, when you get these day after day after day after day, high pressure setups in summer and the hot weather, you often get declining air quality. And yesterday, the reports were mostly moderate during the afternoon up and down the Willamette Valley. Right now, the green is good, the yellow is moderate, so kind of a mixed bag. Jefferson and Deschutes counties, the flat fire burning. Yesterday, it went unhealthy during the heat of the day. Right now, they've had some rain in that area. That's actually improved your air quality down into the moderate range somewhat. So we're keeping an eye on air quality reports. Here's the setup. The upper level high, that's kind of the heat engine of the setup that's producing our little heat wave, if you will, is all the way over the Four Corners area down here over parts of Utah and down into New Mexico. There's a surface low in southeastern Oregon that's playing a factor in pulling additional moisture and fueling rain and thunderstorm threats in central and eastern areas of our state. Now, so far this morning, it's just been rain scattered Baker City, near John Day, Bend, and Madras. There is some rain showers in the flat fire areas, so that's good news. Crews did report 5% containment from their work yesterday. Again, they've got 10 helicopters, I think over 800 fire personnel battling that blaze, so it's being hit hard. Early morning thunderstorms really popped in Eugene. That's starting to fizzle out. But it is evidence that, you know, we are watching the threat of some of this rain in the coming days, making it over the Cascades into parts of the valley. This is Futurecast tomorrow, Tuesday at 6 p.m. Thunderstorms Bachelor to Jefferson. And then tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, this does show a wave of some rain coming into our area. And that could be showers, could be thunderstorms. It's tough to pinpoint these kind of migratory patterns that I just showed you. So certainly there's no way of saying we're definitely going to get rain tomorrow night and Wednesday morning in scattered locations. It may or may not see something. Here's Timberline. Earlier it's still 70 degrees up there. So that's the sign of how warm this air mass is. Timberline hit 82 yesterday. Could just get back up to 80 today, or maybe stop at about 78 for a high at 6,000 feet. Here's the Salem sky camera. Partly cloudy, 64 degrees. Up in the West Hills, the Oregon Zoo live. 67. It'll be another day if you're going to be out and about in the sun to make sure you are constantly hydrating. And if you get tired, take a break, seek AC or some shade, as it will be on the humid side this afternoon, with temperatures getting back up into the low to mid 90s for highs. This is where we are right now, 63 Kelso, 64 Salem, and again, Portland is at 67. Forecast numbers for the valley, mid-90s in Salem. Not much wind today. Impact alert for the hot weather. Southwest Washington, mostly low 90s. Vancouver could just get up to 94. So Portland's 95 or not as warm with the impact alert. 93 or not quite there tomorrow. And then certainly in the 80s Wednesday, then the rain chances that we talked about. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take you down to West Lynn. I-205 southbound traffic coming off the Abernathy Bridge through the construction zone. It's always a little slow. And there you go. Actually, both directions thick, but moving. Southbound, we're puttering along at about 25 miles an hour or so through the Westland area. The speeds pick up, getting down towards the Stafford Road area and then approaching I-5. Over on the west side, Highway 26, tapping the brakes a little bit coming down the hill from the zoo, but not bad. Less than 20 minutes to get you from Hillsboro. We get you back up to Rainier and Longview. This is interesting to capture this on this snapshot on Trip Check. That, of course, is ODOT's website, and you can see traffic already building over the Lewis and Clark Bridge. Again, WashDOT's doing some work on the bridge this week, so the drive between Rainier and Longview is going to be especially slow over the bridge, both directions, as they make room for that ongoing road work. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Nothing says summer like watermelon, especially if it's locally grown.
Yes, KGW's Christine Pitawanich has more on the watermelon for us in this latest edition of Oregon's Fresh from Oregon series.
Yeah, going. Hello.
Here at the weekly farmers market on Portland's South Waterfront,
Okay, you're at 750.
you can find all sorts of seasonal goodies, including a summer favorite, Oregon watermelons.
It's a big crop for us,
Peter Weber co-owns Barn Frog Farm with Chloe Anderson.
and we're super small. So there's just two of us. The two of us work the whole farm. We don't have any employees on the farm.
While they grow pretty much everything on the farm, this time of year, people flock to their stand for the melons.
We just move probably maybe 1,000 to 1,500 pounds a week. And we only do two markets, the South Waterfront Farmers Market and the Hillsdale Farmers Market on Sunday.
He says in just one season, his farm picks about 8 tons of melons in a 4-month stretch. And it's in these summer months people love that these watermelons are local.
They're cool, they're healthy, they hydrate. They just have lots of benefits to them. They're good.
And while you may have heard of the famous Hermiston watermelons, farms across Oregon grow the juicy gem. Weber's farm is in Lebanon.
And we can get you like the best watermelons that are fresh, local. Go to farmers markets and shop there, and you will get really high-end products like our watermelons. I don't think you can get a better one anywhere in the world.
In South Portland,
On a card?
Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.
Now to your morning rush. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man who was mistakenly deported to an El Salvador prison, has been taken back into ICE custody. Abrego Garcia was released from federal custody on parole last week. Then, minutes after his release, immigration authorities said that they intend to deport him to Uganda. The Trump administration says he is a member of MS-13, a claim his attorneys denied. His lawyers say he illegally immigrated to the U.S. when he was 16 to join his brothers in Maryland to escape gang violence in El Salvador. All right, check out this video from Burning Man in northern Nevada. You can barely see what's going on here. It's so windy. The gusts were more than 50 miles per hour, causing a dust storm and blowing away campsites and severely limiting visibility for the week-long festival. The National Weather Service also warning of possible monsoon thunderstorms in the area. And Netflix got its first #1 box office title after the Netflix original movie K-pop Demon Hunters was released in theaters over the weekend. Rival Studios estimated the movie ranked in $16 to $18 million in ticket sales. And the song Golden from the movie remains on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in second place. And that's your Morning Rush.
Portland's largest celebration of Indian culture took over Pioneer Courthouse Square over the weekend. We're talking about the city's annual India Festival, which included Bollywood performances, some workshops, magic show, yoga. They had yoga at this event. And not surprisingly, they did have authentic Indian cuisine. The Indian Cultural Association of Portland puts on this event every year. The nonprofit says it's a fun way to promote Indian culture and bring more diversity to downtown. Well, with temperatures still expected to hit in the mid-90s today, power companies are asking people to reduce their energy use to prevent the strain on the electrical grid. How you can help out coming up at 7:30. Plus,
the weather was super intense, but we all made it through. Nobody passed out, so we were good.
well, nobody passed out on her team at the very least, right? Runners braving the heat on Friday, showing up at Seaside on Saturday to some cooler conditions and some refreshing water. We're going to have the finish line coverage of this year's Hood to Coast coming your way in our next half hour.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
We are coming up on 7:29 on a Monday morning commute that's actually been pretty gentle to us thus far. I-205 coming off the Abernathy Bridge. You can see the bright sun out there and the drive a little slow both directions on I-205 between Oregon City and Westland, but not bad. Over on the west side, the inbound Sunset riding the brakes a little bit from the zoo into the Vista Ridge Tunnel. But that said, drive times look pretty good. 21 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough to the Vista Ridge Tunnel. Rod?
You have the traffic under control this morning, Chris. Good job. Here's a look at our Salem sky camera. We are still under a KGW weather impact alert for hot weather in the mid-90s today. A touch on the humid side as well. 64 degrees in Salem right now, partly cloudy, and 67 in Portland. I've got us 80 at noon, and then Portland just up into the mid-90s. Maybe. I don't think we're going to be hotter than that. Temperatures look like overall today and tomorrow, slight cooling. Still 90s tomorrow for a final day. I've got 80s on Wednesday. Notice the rain chance. Tomorrow night into Wednesday, and again Wednesday night into Thursday, we could see some showers with temperatures again in the 80s.
We could start this half-hour sunrise anywhere we darn well please, but we're starting it in Sherwood because this is one of the prettiest shots so far this morning, courtesy of our Chehalem Tasting Room Skycam in Sherwood. There you see the clouds overhead, the sun trying to make its way through, and oh yes, it will. And it will be hot again. What do we say to our viewers in Sherwood, China?
Good morning. It looked so pretty out there. However, for most, it's going to be a little too hot today.
Yeah, the clouds helping. You know, we had breakfast outdoors at a restaurant yesterday morning, and it was still kind of cloudy, and it was just delightful outside. But the humidity factors will be up, and this afternoon, as China mentioned, eventually we'll get into some hot hours. Here's Schnookwynn's Casino Resort in Lincoln City. The sunny, warm 80s ended Saturday for you folks. Yesterday, you had clouds and generally 60s with some fog, and I think you'll see that same type of pattern today. 59 degrees currently in Lincoln City. Here's partly cloudy, 67 in Portland. Here's the impact alert for another hot afternoon with humidity around 30%, which would be slightly higher than what we've seen the last couple of days. And yesterday, you may recall, was a little sticky outdoors. 80 at noon. I've got us 94 today at 5 p.m. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. Hey, if you've been watching us for the last 30 minutes or so, for starters, thank you. You also may recall this shot I showed you a couple of times where there was a lineup going across the Lewis and Clark Bridge. So here's the deets on that. WashDOT doing some significant repairs to the bridge this week, and they're going to be alternating traffic and at times closing one lane at a time. So right now we've cleared it out on the Oregon side, but there's likely a backup on the Washington side. And so that trip all week long, Monday through Thursday, is going to be a little delayed, I think, for you folks between Rainier and Longview. Back to the trip through Westland, a little slow coming off the Abernathy Bridge. Normal stuff here. Southbound, we're moving along at about 20 miles an hour from Oregon City to Westland. Inbound Sunset, again, riding the brakes a bit near the zoo. But China, these drive times are in pretty good shape for this hour of a Monday morning commute.
Thank you, Chris. Police brought a man into custody following an hours-long standoff after he reportedly fired shots inside a home and then tried to break into a neighbor's home. So here's what happened here. It started around 11:30 Saturday night near Northmore Avenue in Ainsworth. Police say that after firing shots and walking out of his home with a gun in his hand, 40-year-old Ryan Lattin climbed onto the roof of a neighbor's house and tried to break in. He then climbed under some trash cans, tried to hide from police. That's when police issued a shelter-in-place and evacuated the home.
Situations like this can quickly unfold, and they're resource intensive. Not only are we trying to contain the person and come up with contingencies for what if the suspect does this or what if they do this, and how can we best communicate with this person.
After nearly 2 hours, the man gave himself up. No one was hurt. Police seized a handgun.
In Southeast Portland, police officers and firefighters both responded after a man armed with a knife threatened staff at a group home. This happened just after 5 o'clock Sunday morning at Southeast 143rd Avenue and Betts Court. When officers arrived to respond to that threat, they learned that the home was also on fire. Staff and residents were evacuated, and that's when the suspect, 35-year-old Timothy Allen, came outside, still armed with a knife. But police were eventually able to take him into custody.
And a street takeover kept Portland police busy over the weekend as well, despite a 10-hour police enforcement mission aimed at preventing the takeovers. Police received reports of a street racing involving up to 100 cars in the St. John's neighborhood early Sunday morning. A short while later, the racing had moved to the Lloyd district. At the time, all available officers were responding to another incident, meaning only one could respond to the takeovers. And just after 4:15 Sunday morning, officers did stop a driver doing donuts, towed their vehicle, and seized a stolen firearm. In the original mission, officers made 29 stops, towed 6 cars, and arrested 2 people.
We have some new developments to share in the search for Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters in central Washington roughly 3 months ago. The FBI has closed down the Rock Island campground near Leavenworth. The bodies of Peyton, that is, Evelyn and Olivia Decker were found near that campground. The plan is to keep the area closed until Wednesday. A law enforcement analyst and former King County sheriff told our sister station in Seattle that this is likely aimed more at finding evidence in the case, not necessarily about finding Decker.
Time now is 7:34. It is a weather impact alert day here at KGW, and PGE and Pacific Power asking customers to reduce energy use during the hottest times of the day to help with the strain on the electrical grid. So they're asking to limit the use of appliances like dishwashers, dryers, and ovens to early mornings or later at night. And remember, during a heat wave, utility companies in Oregon cannot shut off your power even if you haven't paid your bill.
Multnomah County officials say 6 runners were hospitalized during this weekend's Hood to Coast relay with heat-related symptoms. Despite the heat, though, there were still a lot of smiles, as you see here in Seaside, as runners crossed the finish line. KGW's John Adams brings us more from the coast.
3, 2, 1, away they go! What started near Timberline Lodge on Mount Hood early Friday ended in Seaside on Saturday. The nearly 200 miles in between, a battle against oppressive heat.
It was hot, but we did awesome. It was kind of a grind with the heat, but we all made it, and everybody is injury-free, and so we're thankful for that.
The teams, made up of 8 to 12 runners, fought record-breaking temperatures in some spots along the route on Friday. The late August heat wave making the already difficult relay even tougher.
It's really hot. Yes, blazing.
I have sweat dripping down my butt crack right now. I'm getting ready to start my first leg.
Hood to Coast organizers provided plenty of water and had roving medical responders throughout the route due to the extreme heat. But once they crossed the finish line,
and enjoy the celebration and the achievement that you have done together.
Runners were able to reflect on a Hood to Coast that will surely be remembered.
It was great. The weather was super intense, but we all made it through. Nobody passed out, so we were good.
Here we are on the beach, and so it was a pretty great PTC this year.
John Adams, KGW News.
North Portland's Peninsula Park Pool is staying open an extra 2 weeks amid this heat wave. The pool was supposed to shut down last week for maintenance, but now it'll be open through September 5th.
I think that's great. The heat is so tremendous this summer that it'll be great to have for the pool open, and just an extra couple days makes a difference.
Pier Pool in North Portland and Creston in Southeast Portland will also remain open until the 5th.
All right, Rodney Hill, what do you have for us in the Weather Center?
Well, the big story continues to be the hot weather. Now, with that said, the hottest weather temperature-wise was last Friday. Portland went 102. Saturday went 100. Yesterday went 95. And if you were out in the heat of the day, you probably noticed yesterday the humidity started to get turned up a little bit. We'll see similar temps today with the humidity again being turned up a little bit. So if you're outdoors, like we've been saying, just listen to your body. If you start getting tired, take a break. Seek AC or shade. Make sure you hydrate consistently if you're going to be working or playing out in the heat of the day. Temperatures today, I think low to mid 90s, which is not, out of sight hot, but it's a continuation of the heat, especially for folks living that don't have AC in their homes. 67 right now, 80 at noon. I've got Portland 94 at 5 o'clock. Here's a view from the Pioneer Park building looking over the square and the Pioneer Courthouse. 67 degrees out of PDX. So again, nights haven't been cooling off much. It was still 70 at 4 a.m. this morning, by the way, so we've just gotten underneath that. It is 60 though up in Scappoose. There are some cooler spots. Battleground and Forest Grove each at 62. Winds are light this morning. Corvallis, the one spot that's dipped into the 50s. So good morning, Beavers, 59 down that way. Lulu Bell, a great photo this morning for our KGW Dog of the Day segment. We're told that this is getting wrapped up right after getting a bath. The Dog of the Day at kgw.com. Use that email address, send us your dog's photo, and name your dog will become our Dog of the Day. That's Lulu Bell this morning. Love it. All right, this afternoon, we do have showers currently in central and eastern areas of our state. We had some early morning thunderstorms just outside of Eugene. The shower and thunderstorm threat continues today, central and eastern areas of our state. It'll be a mix of fog and sun at the beach with temperatures primarily in the 60s. Portland 95 or not maybe quite that hot. Impact alert is up. Hoping 93 or even closer to 90 tomorrow as the cool off begins. Wednesday in the 80s and the shower chance shows up, by the way, tomorrow night in the Wednesday morning. Here's Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take you to the Banfield. Photojournalist Eric Patterson manning the wheel of Drive 8, braving the traffic so that you can hopefully avoid it. Well, I-84 this time of the morning. Actually, for westbound commuting, this is not all that bad as it rolls through the Hollywood district. But just to let you know, we've got eyes everywhere. We're watching it. 22 minutes right now gets you in from Troutdale to the I-5 split on Interstate 84. Back up to Columbia County we go. And again, this is the drive over the Lewis and Clark Bridge. We've been mentioning this throughout the morning because there have been some backups from time to time. If you travel between Rainier and Longview over the Lewis and Clark Bridge, WashDOT is doing work on the bridge all week long. There was a backup here earlier this morning. They will be alternating lanes and pushing traffic on one shoulder and et cetera, making room for workers to get that work done. So be aware of that. Looks like that delay has temporarily flushed out. China?
Thank you, Chris. Coming up, the college football season kicks off this weekend for the Ducks and the Beavers. We'll have more from each team's head coach, plus their odds of winning their first home game coming up after the break. Plus,
it makes things cooler, safer for the kids to be playing the sports out here. No reason to take any unnecessary risks.
a local youth football jamboree taking extra precautions to make sure players were safe during the weekend's heat by pushing game time up by 4 hours.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Blast off left field. There it goes. Cal Raleigh.
Oh yeah, big day for Cal Raleigh. Mariners catcher going into the baseball record books, hitting 2 home runs yesterday. And with that, he passes Salvador Perez for the most home runs hit by a catcher in a single season. Cal now has 49.
And Raleigh has easily become one of the fan favorites on the team.
Maddie White with her sister station in Seattle talked to some of the fans who got to witness yesterday's history.
These were the moments after the Mariners' own Cal Raleigh broke the record for the most home runs in a single season by a catcher. It happened right here at home, and the crowd went wild. How was the game?
Electric.
He might be a player known for his assets. Why do you guys love him besides all these reasons?
His big butt. Yeah, he's got a dumper.
But the big dumper.
You did an awesome job.
So much more.
You inspired me.
For Blake Cummins.
And I would love to be on your team someday.
The superstar slugger gives young people like this Covington preteen
I want to be on this field someday. I want to be a MLB player.
Something to work towards.
He's always called him Mini-Me. He always says, I'm Mini-Me. I look like Cal, he says. And I think he does kind of. Yeah, he kind of does. I think he kind of looks like Cal.
For M's fans across the state,
we were just so excited to be able to witness history today. It was awesome.
Raleigh's massive success is invigorating.
It was amazing. It felt like there was going to be an earthquake in there, but the coolest moment was when Cal stepped out and tipped his hat to the fans.
And yet, it appears the big dumper's staying humble.
MVP! MVP! MVP!
Even with idol worship like this.
He is the most awesome catcher. He is the most awesome catcher ever. Ever.
She thinks he's the best. All right, college football now. The 7th-ranked Oregon Ducks kicked off their football schedule, or kick it off this coming week in Eugene against Montana State. The reigning Big Ten champs are starting season number 4 under head coach Dan Lanning with a lot of new faces in the lineup. 18 starters from last year's squad have moved on at this point. That includes a record 10 players who were taken in the NFL draft. Again, that was a record for the Ducks. Coach Dan Lanning says he's still excited about his new players.
This team has grown. I think, early in the offseason, I was talking about where's the leadership going to come from. There's a lack of experience, but I would always give me talented players over guys that have a ton of experience that aren't talented. So we have talented players that maybe don't have as much experience, but in this last month of practice, they've gotten a lot of experience. Over the summer, they've gotten a lot of experience. And then we've seen leadership show up. So that gives me a level of confidence going into this season with, the group that we have.
Coach Lanning hasn't made it official yet, but at some point this week before Saturday, he is expected to name Dante Moore as the team's starting quarterback. The Ducks and Montana State will kick off that big game on Saturday, Autzen Stadium, first game of the year at 1 o'clock. Oregon State also starts their season on Saturday against their former Pac-12 rivals from Cal. Here's what head coach Trent Bray had to say about the Beavers before their season opener.
I think just the team in general, the way that they come to work every day, the way that they prepare, they're locked in, they're committed to this thing, and then I think we've got the talent. The players themselves have taken over the team, and it's player-led, which is, we weren't that last year. We were everyone was learning as we were going. I think it's much more stable in the locker room.
Beavers versus Cal, 7:30 Saturday night at Reser Stadium.
In Beaverton, several events changed their schedule to try and escape some of the weekend's heat, including a youth football jamboree. Jake Holter brings us more from Sunset High School.
So these games were moved up 4 hours from noon to 8 in the morning to avoid having the kids play in triple-digit heat. Sunset Youth Football's Tackle Jamboree starting much earlier than normal Saturday in order to finish before temperatures got too high.
So earlier in the week, we were looking at the weather, realized it was going to be a real warm day. We decided that we needed to compress the schedule, move it earlier in the morning.
Sunset Youth Football President Charles Carter says extra precautions are always taken when it gets hot, but this is the first time the Jamboree schedule has had to be changed.
Anytime it's in the mid-90s or above, we have to monitor that and make sure that the kids are safe. Ample breaks, more water time, anything we can do to avoid any kind of heat issues.
The coaches are really looking out for the safety of the boys.
Football parent John England glad the game started earlier.
It makes things cooler, safer for the kids to be playing the sports out here. No reason to take any unnecessary risks.
And that goes for the cheerleaders too, with their start time moved up from 1 to 10.
It was a little bit of a no-brainer for us. We want the kids to be healthy and happy, and moving it forward 3 hours was really no huge deal.
Across town, people at the Beaverton Music Festival also trying to beat the heat. From performers on stage.
You have a fan in front of you to kind of keep the cool air moving and a little bit of water.
To chefs cooking on the grill.
When it gets too hot, we try to switch off. Hey, you do this roll, we'll do this roll. Take a little break here. Drink a lot of water, cold water.
Everyone is trying to stay cool. A local church even handing out free water and ice cream.
We just want to make sure that we are helping people stay safe and hydrated and having fun today.
Event organizer Florian Raqueño says if temperatures are forecasted to be 95 and above, the misters come out.
We bring those out whenever we need to, for sure. That is something that's so important just to help people stay cool.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
All right, Rob, what do you got for us?
Brilliant toss to me, Mr. Carney. I've got the weather forecast, I do. Okay, here we go. We have the radar showing rain showers, central and eastern areas this morning. No lightning right now, but that is expected to change this afternoon with some lightning strikes expected. We had, I just said central and eastern areas, there has been a rogue lightning storm area near Eugene, and there's still a couple of active strikes right there and some heavy rain south of Sweet Home. So this is eye-catching because it shows you that the migration of moisture is trying to come up over the Cascades and can do so, but the migratory patterns this morning are down more toward the South Valley, which is where we have right now. Now I want to show you futurecast for tomorrow, because tomorrow I think the moisture chance could be farther north, including not just showers, but also thunderstorms again. This is 6 o'clock Tuesday. Thunderstorms trying to pop around Burns and some storm action around central Oregon. And this just shows one lone shower up in Skamania County. This model just updated. Last time I showed you, it had thunderstorms more robust tomorrow evening along the Cascades with some rain moving through downtown Portland. All this stuff is hard to pinpoint. So the main message here is starting tomorrow night, we get back into at least watching for the chance of some showers here between Portland, Salem, and Vancouver. Right now, all dry in our immediate area, 64 degrees in Salem. This is more of a blue look over the Dundee Hills from Domain Stream Winery's camera. Out there in the heart of Yamhill County, temperatures 67 Portland, 63 Kelso. It's fog and some sun at the beach again today with temperatures primarily in the 60s, which is what you folks had yesterday. I told you Friday the coast will be sunny and 80s Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was Friday, Saturday, but I was wrong about yesterday. And today we will continue to see some clouds and fog, it looks like. So to the coast forecast we go. That'll hold temperatures in the 60s. Winds are light. We have an impact alert for hot weather for another day today and a touch on the humid side. Again, the hottest temperatures were back on Friday and Saturday. Friday at PDX went 102, Saturday went 100. So no longer a threat of extreme heat or 100-degree temperatures in the valley. But mid-90s and humid. Heat indices are still running generally a little bit cooler than the actual air temperature. This shows mostly low 90s today up in southwest Washington. So Portland 95 or I think cooler. And then tomorrow is 93 or cooler. It does look like tomorrow will be the finale in terms of reaching 90 degrees. Wednesday, we're back down in the 80s. And then we have multiple days where I'm watching at least a shower chance, but nothing is guaranteed. Could we be dry all week, including Labor Day weekend? Absolutely. But there's just a bunch of unknowns we're tracking in the forecast right now. More like scratching our heads than tracking at this point, Chris.
He's got his sleeves rolled up, scratches his hair. He's going through his computer models. Hey, let's get you back to Longview and Rainier. Actually, this is the Rainier side of the Lewis and Clark Bridge. We'll switch gears and take you to the Longview side. And again, we've been talking about the delays that could be caused by some of this road work. This is all week until about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon that WashDOT's doing some bridge maintenance. Speaking of bridges, the Hood River Bridge back to bridge maintenance this week and all week long from 6:30 to 3. WashDOT says expect some short-term delays both directions between White Salmon and Hood River. All right, photojournalist Eric Patterson heading north across the Interstate Bridge. The southbound drive obviously much busier at this point. Your drive out of Clark County is up to 17 minutes to get you in from Main Street south to the Fremont.
Thank you, Chris.
Matt, this is going to be one right here. These two little ones, they got a big punch to them. They're light and mighty.
Light and mighty. That is a little bit of what's in store tonight on the finale of American Ninja Warrior. With $250,000 on the line, it is sure to be a nail-biter this evening. We're going to have a little preview for you coming up after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
All right, tonight here on KGW, we've got the finale of American Ninja Warrior, and this year's competition is shaping up a little differently.
NBC's Mark Barker has more on the contestants, all hoping to take home the $250,000 grand prize.
It's a season finale like we've never seen before.
American Ninja Warrior borrows a page.
Get the brackets ready.
From the month of March to wrap up season 17.
You've seen March Madness, Ninja Madness. We got our own brackets. When I tell you we got our own brackets, we got our own brackets now.
Last week, the season's top 32 ninjas began matching up head-to-head in single elimination races.
One mistake could end your season.
And they continue tonight until... There is one ninja left.
We were in the host tower, Mark, and we just kept going, this is the best season ever.
Right. The races are a change from previous finales.
These two little ones, they got a big punch to them.
When ninjas were simply one-on-one against the course and the clock.
Who will get the dismount?
Now throw in the pressure of a rival right alongside you.
And what we loved about it, though, was even our best ninjas, it forced them to push themselves beyond their envelope.
19-year-old Kai Beckstrand and his younger brother Luke have been among the top ninjas this season, along with Isaiah Thomas and Noah Munier.
And I just felt like the whole season, it felt like it just built up to this tremendous finish.
Which, of course, the duo is tight-lipped about. Kinda.
What can you tease about the final race?
Sha-na-na. Matt, you better not spoil it.
Tonight, fans will get to see it. Mark Barker, NBC Entertainment.
Coming up at 8 o'clock, Vice President J.D. Vance and Russia's foreign minister offering very different outlooks on the war in Ukraine. We'll break down what that looks like.
And we're also going to cover what's being described as a global mail disruption. More on the new trade rule that's causing some shipping chaos for small businesses and what it can mean for your own online orders. Again, the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise continues at the top of the hour. We're about 3 minutes away from that. Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis will be on board for the top of the hour with the latest on your local weather and traffic.